Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Nishit Kumar with the evening news. The headlines. Lok Sabha passes demands for grants of Ministry of Railways for 2022-23. Government assures there is no plan to privatize Indian Railways. Road Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari launches green hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle in New Delhi. Over 8,973 applications uploaded on portal for seeking support of PM Cares for Children scheme for those who have lost both parents in COVID-19 pandemic. COVID vaccination for children aged 12 to 14 years and precaution dose for people above 60 years of age begins today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges children to get vaccinated. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulates newly sworn Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann. Prime Minister reaffirms India's commitment to stand with the friendly people of Sri Lanka. And Hockey India announces 22-member men's team to take on Argentina for upcoming FIH Men's Hockey Pro League doubleheader at Kalinga Hockey Stadium in Bhubaneswar. As we start the bulletin, we appeal to our listeners to stay safe from COVID-19 by following these 4 simple steps. Get fully vaccinated, wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Lok Sabha today passed the demands for grants of the Ministry of Railways for 2022-23. In his reply, after a 13-hour-long discussion on the issue, the Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav emphasized that Indian Railways is today modernizing, upgrading technology and improving capital investment inflow into the sector. He said efforts are yielding results as the capital investments reach 99,511 crore rupees per year, laying of tracks and electrification have doubled. Northeast connectivity has improved considerably. 1,110 kilometers of trade corridor have been completed. Made in India Vande Bharat trains introduced and railway stations are modernized.
पैसेंजर अगर आता है स्टेशन पे तो उसको एक फैसिलिटीज ठीक मिलनी चाहिए। तो विश्व स्तरीय स्टेशन 2 बहुत अच्छे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स हुए, गांधीनगर स्टेशन और रानी कमलापति स्टेशन। इसके अलावा और भी बहुत सारे स्टेशंस में इंप्रूवमेंट्स हुए हैं। अभी बायपनहल्ली बैंगलोर के पास में वो भी कंप्लीट हो गया है। अब इन स्टेशन से जो लर्निंग आई है, इससे लार्ज स्केल पे वर्ल्ड क्लास स्टेशन का निर्माण करने का प्रधानमंत्री जी का विजन है।
Speaking about the vision for the next 10 years, the minister said the target is to increase annual passenger movement from 800 crore to 1,000 crore, cargo movement from 1,400 million tons to 3,000 million tons, and investment to 3 lakh crore rupees. The minister noted that Vande Bharat railway coach manufactured within the country is a success story and attracting world attention. Regarding introduction of air springs and other tech upgrades, the minister said these will improve the safety and comfort of the railway journey. Plans are also afoot to develop small cargo containers for MSMEs, farmers and micro-entrepreneurs. One station and one product scheme announced in the budget will promote area-specific products. To queries from the opposition members, Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav emphasized that there is no plan to privatize the Indian Railways. He added that railways is a strategic sector with social obligation and hence will not be privatized.
Road Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari today launched the world's most advanced technology-developed green hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle Toyota Mirai in New Delhi. He said it is an important initiative in promoting clean energy and protecting the environment by reducing dependence on fossil fuels and thereby making India's energy self-reliant by 2047.
The first time in India, we are launching the car from Toyota, which is running on green hydrogen. So 100% I am confident that the day will come that as per as our dream of our Prime Minister Atmanirbhar Bharat, 100% we will reduce import. Because of this import, we are not only facing economic problem, but because of import, we are facing crucial environmental problem.
Union Ministers Hardeep Singh Puri, R.K. Singh and Mahendranath Pandey, including Toyota Kirloskar Motor Managing Director Masakazu Yoshimura and Vice Chairman Vikram Kirloskar were also present at the launch. Road Transport Ministry said Toyota Kirloskar Motor, an international centre for automotive technology, are conducting a pilot project to study and evaluate the world's most advanced fuel cell electric vehicle Toyota Mirai, which runs on hydrogen on Indian roads and climatic conditions. The ministry said that this is the first of its kind project in India, which aims at creating a green hydrogen-based ecosystem in the country by bringing awareness about the unique utility of green hydrogen and FCEV technology. It said that introduction and adoption of technology to tap into the green hydrogen's potential will play a key role in securing a clean and affordable energy future for India. Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Irani has said that the applications of children for seeking support of PM Cares for Children scheme are uploaded on the portal by the state and UT government. In a written reply in the Rajya Sabha today, the minister said as on the 14th of March 2022, over 8,973 applications have been uploaded on the portal, out of which 4,302 applications have been approved by district magistrates after due process. Mr. Irani said Women and Child Development Ministry is implementing a centrally sponsored scheme, namely Child Protection Services CPS scheme, Mission Vatsalya, under which support is provided to states and UT governments for delivering services for children in need of care and in difficult circumstances. She said the child care institutions, CCIs, established under the CPS scheme support age-appropriate education, access to vocational training, recreation, healthcare, counselling, etc. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had announced PM Cares for Children scheme to support children who have lost both parents or surviving parent or legal guardian for adoptive parents due to COVID-19 pandemic. The scheme is accessible through an online portal, pmcaresforchildren.in.
And now here is a review of proceedings in Parliament today. First from the Lok Sabha, writer is Achinta Bora of PTI. Lok Sabha today approved the demand for grants of railways for 2022-23. In his reply to the discussion, Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav ruled out privatisation of Indian Railways. He slammed the opposition for picking holes on the functioning of his ministry, saying the Indian Railways was reeling under policy paralysis during the UPA regime, but it was put back on track after Prime Minister Narendra Modi came to power in 2014. Replying to a discussion, the minister criticised the opposition for calling the government's proposals as propaganda. He listed the number of initiatives taken by the government under Prime Minister Modi to bring the railways back on track from what he termed policy paralysis during the UPA regime. He said capital investment, which was one of the main problems, has increased to over 95,000 crore rupees in 2019 from 45,980 crore rupees in 2014. For 2022-23, there is a record allocation of 2.45 lakh crore rupees, he said. The railways will continue to fulfill social obligations, he said, adding 60,000 crore rupees subsidy is provided on passenger fares. Replying to issues related to the proposed bullet train between Mumbai and Ahmedabad, he said 99.7% of the land acquisition in Gujarat segment has been completed and 750 pillars have been constructed. The work on the bullet train project is progressing at a rate of 8 kilometres per month, which will be increased to 10 kilometres a month. He said as many as 18 railway projects are pending in West Bengal because of lack of cooperation from the state government. The minister said efforts are being made to upgrade the speed of Vande Bharat trains to 200 kilometres per hour from the current 160 kilometres an hour. He said 400 such trains will be introduced in the coming years. Initiating a debate on demand for grants of Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, Congress member A.R. Reddy said India has only 1% of the vehicles while it accounts for 11% of road accidents globally. He said the government should increase the budget for maintenance of roads to prevent such accidents. Participating in the discussions, Kalyan Banerjee of TMC suggested the government should come out with stringent laws to deal with overloading of vehicles as they create heavy traffic congestions. G.S. Pon of DMK asked the government to speed up the highway projects in Tamil Nadu. He said the finance minister made several announcements about highways in the budget but did not talk about the completed projects. Jagdampika Pal of BJP said the government has taken a series of measures to boost development of roads in the country. He said that budget allocations have jumped significantly during the Modi government as compared to that in the UPA regime. During Zero Hour, Congress President Sonia Gandhi said global social media companies are being abused to hack India's democracy and urged the government to put an end to their systematic influence and interference in electoral politics. She said global companies such as Facebook and Twitter are being increasingly used to shape political narratives by leaders, political parties and their proxies. The Congress chief said young and old minds are being filled with hate through emotionally charged disinformation, and proxy advertising companies like Facebook are profiting from it. BJP member Nishikant Dubey said the Congress party had tried to suppress freedom of speech by bringing in Section 66A in the Information Technology Act. Dubey also urged Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla to set up a committee to examine and present a white paper on how freedom of expression was curbed during the Congress rule. Manoj Tiwari of BJP demanded the AAP government to release inquiry reports on the causes of recent fires in the national capital. BSP MP Danish Ali urged the government to confer Bharat Ratna, the country's highest civilian honour, on the party's founder Kashi Ram for his work for the downtrodden. Congress leader Karti Chidambaram urged the government to issue guidelines and regulate delivery companies such as Swiggy and Zomato to protect delivery agents from unrealistic targets and ensure their safety.
And now a review of proceedings in the Rajya Sabha. Writer is Sanjeev Chopra of the PTI. Rajya Sabha today completed the discussion on the Ministry of Tribal Affairs with Union Minister Arjun Munda saying the government was working with a comprehensive plan towards ensuring the welfare of tribals and protecting their interests. Replying to the discussion, Munda said the government has brought Arunachal Pradesh with 100% tribal population under the list of tribal states. The minister said 740 Ekalavya model schools will be created on the lines of Navodaya Vidyalaya. Munda said as Chief Minister he favoured a holistic approach to address the problem of extremism, but there was no action at the time. Extremism has come down due to development under the new government, he claimed. He urged MPs to give good suggestions and the government would implement them. He also urged opposition members to give constructive suggestions and not criticise for the sake of criticising the government. Participating in the discussion, several members said there has been a reduction in the budget for welfare and development of tribal areas. The minister said there is no deficiency of funds and the government's intention was honest towards the welfare of tribals. He said the Prime Minister has asked to work in mission mode for the protection of the welfare of the tribal community, tribal family and tribal areas to protect their interests. He said earlier all governments, departments worked in silos, lacking in coordination and the actual benefits could not reach the beneficiaries. Munda said the government has marked approximately 36,000 tribal villages under the Pradhan Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana to provide them with facilities like clean drinking water, drainage and the internet. He said efforts are being made for providing education for tribals. Munda also said the health and welfare of tribals are on priority of the government, including through schemes such as Ayushman Bharat. Binoy Vishwam of the CPIM, Brijlal of the BJP, Suresh Gopi of the BJP, Prashant Nanda of BJD and GK Vasan of the TMC-M also took part in the discussion on the working of the Tribal Affairs Ministry. Rajya Sabha also started the discussion on the working of the Ministry of Railways. Initiating the discussion, Prasanna Acharya of the BJD lauded the Railways Ministry for running the Kisan Rail, which transported over 6 lakh tons of food products across the country. He also appreciated the Railways' efforts for adopting the indigenous technologies like Kavach to strengthen the railway infrastructure. He urged the Railways Minister to improve the passengers' amenities. Discussions remained inconclusive. During the 0 hour, Rajya Sabha members expressed concern over the rising cases of cancer in the country and suggested various measures including regular checkup camps in rural areas and mandatory warning on processed meat packets to tackle the disease. BJP's Mahesh Poddar demanded that cancer warning should be made mandatory on packets of processed meat in line with tobacco products. Samajwadi Party member Revati Raman Singh expressed concern over the rising cases of cancer. Congress member L. Hanumanthaya demanded that a special grant should be given to Kidwai Memorial Institute of Oncology in Bengaluru to establish of a full-fledged proton therapy facility. Jose K. Mani of the Kerala Congress M. Vandana Shavan of the NCP and Ashok Bajpai of the BJP, among others, were also raising the matters of public importance. And that's all in the Parliament Review.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
Welcome back to the evening news. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur said the government has stressed on creating medical infrastructure in the last 7 years, which resulted in the creation of more medical colleges in the country. Presenting Six Sigma Healthcare Excellence Awards 2022 in New Delhi today, Mr. Thakur said from 2014 to 2022 there has been a 54% increase in medical colleges. He said in 2014 there were 387 medical colleges and now the number has reached 596. The minister said 39 medical colleges have been built in aspirational districts. He said there has been an increase of 80% in the undergraduate and postgraduate seats in medical colleges.
Free of cost COVID vaccination for children in the age group of 12 to 14 years has begun today on the occasion of National Vaccination Day at all government COVID vaccination centres. Corbevax vaccine is being administered, which is manufactured by Biological E Limited, Hyderabad. People above 60 years of age are also eligible for precaution dose from today, as the condition for comorbidity for this age group has been removed. The precaution dose is to be administered after 9 months after the date of second vaccination. Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital in Delhi has dedicated a separate vaccination site for children in the age group of 12 to 14. Talking to AIR News, COVID vaccination center in charge at the RML hospital, Dr. Neelam Roy said one of the parents should accompany the child during the vaccination. She said an expert team of doctors is supervising the vaccination process.
After vaccination, they will be kept under observation for a period of 30 minutes, and during this period of 30 minutes, they will be monitored for any adverse event. We have a team of experts who will be monitoring these children. The experts include the anesthetist, pediatrician, epidemiologist. We have the team to monitor these children.
Centre has sent detailed instructions and operational guidelines to states and UTs in this regard. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has expressed happiness that on the National Vaccination Day 2022, India has begun COVID jabs for 12 to 14 years old. In a series of tweets, Mr. Naidu said, with over 180 crore doses, India's vaccination drive has been unprecedented in both scale and reach. Vice President said, vaccination plays an important role in preventing many life-threatening diseases and therefore, focus should be on creating public awareness, especially in the rural areas. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also urged children in the age groups of 12 to 14 to get vaccinated. In a series of tweets, Mr. Modi said, today is an important day in India's efforts to vaccinate the citizens.
As part of the nationwide vaccination campaign, the COVID-19 vaccination drive for children aged 12 to 14 years was launched in Manipur today in the presence of State Additional Chief Secretary Health and Family Welfare V. Wumlun Mang. While launching the campaign at state level, Shri Wumlun Mang appreciated the initiative of the Government of India to cover children aged 12 to 14 years in the vaccination drive. He appealed to all the beneficiaries under the age group to come out and get the vaccination for COVID-19-free nation. Over 180 crore 60 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. India's active caseload currently stands at 32,811. Active cases stand at 0.08%. The recovery rate is currently at 98.72%. A total of 3,884 people recovered in the last 24 hours. 2,876 new cases were recorded in the same period.
The Ministry of Civil Aviation has said that the new integrated terminal building with enhanced capacity and world-class facilities is under construction at the Airport Authority of India AAI's Pune Airport, which will reduce congestion during peak hours at the airport. It said AAI has undertaken the construction of the terminal building at the cost of 475 crore rupees. The minister said more than 55% of the work has been completed and the construction of the new building is likely to be completed by August next year. AAI has undertaken the work for construction of state-of-the-art new terminal with massive built-up area of more than 5 lakh square feet. Aam Aadmi Party leader Bhagwant Mann has been sworn in as the Chief Minister of Punjab. He was administered the oath by Punjab Governor Banwari Lal Purohit at Khatarkala and Sistral village of Martyr Bhagat Singh in SBS Nagar, Nawashahar district. The national convener of Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal, Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, Punjab in charge of party affairs Raghav Chadha and other leaders of the party along with general public from all over the state joined the swearing-in ceremony. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Bhagwant Mann on taking oath as the Punjab Chief Minister. In a tweet, Mr. Modi assured that the centre will work together with the state government for the growth of Punjab and welfare of its people.
The budget session of the Tripura State Legislative Assembly will commence tomorrow. According to the official notification, the 5-day session will start with the address of the Governor Satyadev Narayan Arya. Also, followed by the Governor's address, supplementary budgets for the current fiscal will be placed by the Finance Minister Jishnu Dev Verma. On the same day, Finance Minister Shri Dev Verma, who is also the Deputy Chief Minister, will deliver the budget speech and present budget proposals for the financial year 2022-23. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Ratan Lal Nath said the budget session will have 5 days of actual sittings and will conclude on the 24th of this month. More than 6.63 crore income tax returns, ITRs, were filed for assessment year 2021-22 on the new e-filing portal of the Income Tax Department as on yesterday, which was the due date for filing of ITRs by companies and other taxpayers who were required to file tax audit report. As on the 15th of March 2022, more than 5.43 lakh ITRs were filed compared to 4.77 lakh last year on the due date, and over 13.84 lakh ITRs were filed in the last 5 days.
President Ramnath Kovind today accepted credentials from 5 envoys at Rashtrapati Bhavan. They are Ambassador of Algeria, Abderrahman Bengoura, High Commissioner of Malawi, Leonard Senza Mengezi, High Commissioner of Canada, Cameron Dean McKay, Ambassador of Indonesia, Ms. Ina Hagnininthias Krishnamurthy, and Ambassador of Russia, Denis Evgenyevich Alipov. After presentation of the credentials, the President interacted with the envoys separately. He congratulated them on their appointments and emphasized on the warm and friendly relations that India shared with the countries. Through the ambassadors and the High Commissioners, Mr. Kovind also conveyed his personal regard to their leaderships. The envoys present at the event reiterated their commitment to work closely to strengthen their ties with India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reiterated that India would continue to stand with the friendly people of Sri Lanka. Mr. Modi was speaking to Finance Minister of Sri Lanka, Basil Rajapaksa, who called on him in New Delhi today. Mr. Modi spoke about the central role that Sri Lanka occupies in India's neighbourhood first policy and its Sagar, that is security and growth for all in the region doctrine. The Prime Minister pointed to the potential for increasing tourist flows, including through joint promotion of Buddhist and Ramayan tourism circuits. Mr. Rajapaksa briefed the Prime Minister on initiatives being taken by both the countries to increase bilateral economic cooperation and conveyed his thanks for the support extended by India for the Sri Lankan economy. The Sri Lankan Finance Minister noted the deepening people-to-people relations between both the countries, including in the cultural sphere. Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla called on the visiting Finance Minister in New Delhi today. They discussed bilateral economic and commercial cooperation and opportunities post-pandemic. Mr. Shringla said Sri Lanka is integral to India's neighbourhood first policy. He said India will always be a reliable partner for Sri Lanka.
The Council of Europe has expelled Russia from the continent's foremost human rights body in an unprecedented move over its military operation in Ukraine. The 47-nation organization's Committee of Ministers said in a statement that the Russian Federation ceases to be a member of the Council of Europe as of today, after 26 years of membership. The decision comes on the heels of weeks of condemnation of Russia's actions in Ukraine. Early in the week, the group's parliamentary assembly has already initiated the process of expulsion and unanimously backed that Russia would be kicked out. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov insisted today that it would have left the body regardless. In an interview with Russian broadcaster RBK, he accused NATO and EU countries of abusing their majority in the Council, eventually transforming it into a tool for anti-Russian policy. Hockey India today named the 22-member men's team who will take on Argentina in the upcoming FIH Men's Hockey Pro League doubleheader this weekend at the iconic Kalinga Hockey Stadium in Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Morning time, Ravichandra Singh, who was part of the Indian junior men's squad at the FIH Junior Men's World Cup, will be the lone new face in the team. For the matches against Argentina scheduled for the 19th and 20th of this month, the 22-member squad includes goalkeepers B.R. Srijesh, Krishan Bahadur Pathak, defenders Harmanpreet Singh, Jugraj Singh, Surinder Kumar, Varun Kumar, Jarmanpreet Singh and Amit Rohidas. Midfield will see Manpreet Singh, Vivek Sagar Prasad, Hardik Singh, Sumit Shamsher Singh, Neelkant Sharma and debutant Morningtime Ravichandra Singh.
On this day in 2012, legendary cricketer Sachin Tendulkar became the only batsman in the history of cricket to register 100 international centuries. He had achieved the feat against Bangladesh in the Asia Cup at the Sher-e-Bangla National Stadium in Mirpur. Sent into bat first, India had witnessed a bad start as the side lost its opener Gautam Gambhir pretty early in the innings. However, Tendulkar found support in Virat Kohli and the duo formed a 113-run stand. Continuing his brilliant form, Tendulkar brought up his 100th ton in the 44th over of the innings. The Master Blaster went on to play a knock of 114 runs from 147 balls and took India's total to 289 for 5 in the allotted 50 overs. Jasprit Bumrah and Dimut Karunaratne have made significant gains in the latest ICC Test rankings following their impressive performances in the recently concluded India-Sri Lanka Test series. Jasprit Bumrah, who bagged 8 wickets, jumped up 6 spots to attain 4th rankings in the ICC Test rankings for bowlers.
The Sensex of the Nifty today climbed more than 1.5%. Both domestic key stock indices gained in sync with rise in other Asian share markets. A report.
The Sensex climbed to 1,040 points or 1.86% to trade at 56,817. The Nifty was also up 312 points or 1.87% to trade at 16,975. The rupee strengthened 34 paise against the US dollar. The domestic currency closed at 76 rupees and 27 paise per dollar. Gold prices fell 170 rupees at multi-commodity exchange for April contracts. The precious metal was trading at 51,395 rupees per 10 grams. Anita Anand for AIR News.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi is likely to have mainly clear sky. Temperature will vary between 20 and 34 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 24 and maximum around 37 degrees. Chennai is likely to have partly cloudy sky. Temperature will vary between 24 and 34 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have mainly clear sky. The temperature will vary between 25 and 37 degrees. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky. Jammu will also have clear sky. Leh is likely to have partly cloudy sky. Minimum and the maximum will hover between 1 and 13 degrees. Gilgit and Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky. Visakhapatnam will have partly cloudy sky with haze. Hyderabad will have partly cloudy sky towards afternoon or evening. And Bengaluru will have mist.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Lok Sabha passes demands for grants of Ministry of Railways for 2022-23. Government assures there is no plan to privatize Indian Railways. Road Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari launches green hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle in New Delhi. Over 8,973 applications uploaded on portal for seeking support of PM Cares for Children scheme for those who have lost both parents in COVID-19 pandemic. COVID vaccination for children aged 12 to 14 years and precaution dose for people above 60 years of age begins today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges children to get vaccinated. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulates newly sworn Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann. Prime Minister reaffirms India's commitment to stand with the friendly people of Sri Lanka. And Hockey India announces 22-member men's team to take on Argentina for upcoming FIH Men's Hockey Pro League doubleheader at Kalinga Hockey Stadium in Bhubaneswar. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.